London space LRL. In studio then we've got the Hammersmith Hills Hoists, coach Paul Farah and halfback Wayde Kelly. Guys, thank you for coming in.
That's right.
You.
Thanks.
Wayde, we'll start with you. Two consecutive defeats now in the league. This is, well, to be fair, your record, it's unheard of. It's never happened before with the Hammersmith Hills Hoists. You're not used to losing.
No, definitely not, Ian. Not used to losing at all, let alone 2 in a row. Tough times throughout the season. A lot of sort of travellers in our club, so we've had a few players down, but hopefully everybody gets back on board and we have a good run in towards the finals.
Paul, you're the coach. Lost a bit of ground to St Albans at the weekend. They're now clear at the top. You played them. Are they a good side this year?
Yeah, they're a very good team. When we played them out at St Albans in the first round clash, it was a close game, and then this last game at home was just tough encounter. They were very well drilled, very fit, and had some good rugby league players. So they're the benchmark, definitely.
Obviously, people can hear you're both Aussies. The Hammersmith Hills Hoists, was set up by a bunch of Aussies in London wanting to play rugby league. That's sort of the ethos of the club. That's why it was set up. It seems to be working so far as well. Where are you both from originally?
I'm originally from Sydney.
Okay.
And I grew up in northern New South Wales, moved to the Gold Coast when I finished school, so come straight over from there once I finished uni.
What was it like coming to London from areas that are well known for rugby league down under, coming to London where nobody talks about it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, I guess, because like you said, it's growing up in areas that rugby league's a stronghold. Going 2 or 3 pages into the local or the London papers and only finding little snippets of information about the Super League is there. It's a bit of a culture shock, but I guess you're in London, you just got to expect that, I suppose.
I still pick up the Metro every day waiting to see a league story on the back, but it's yet to happen. So,
and is it pretty much, I mean, would you compare a league down under to football here? Back pages are always football.
Definitely.
In the UK. Is that it? If you're in a rugby league area down under, that's it.
Yeah.
Definitely where we're both from. Faz being from Sydney, where rugby league's probably your main winter sport for sure, and as well on the Gold Coast, and pretty well anywhere in Queensland where rugby league is your top winter sport.
Quins have looked at the Aussie market in London. I mean, you've exploited it very well, but it's completely different. You're saying if you're an Aussie rugby league person, I mean, you have players as well who are local players and other nationalities as well. But you've basically said, look, if you're an Aussie in London, come and play rugby league, come and enjoy yourself. Is there an interest for you to go watch the game? Are Quins tapping into a market that isn't really there? Do people just want to throw the ball around?
It's hard to say. I think the problem is that if the Quins, just where they sit on the ladder, I think if they were a bigger club in regards to fighting for top 4 honours on a regular basis, then maybe there might be a little bit more interest. But I guess it's like a lot of sports. If your team's not doing that well, then maybe it's people aren't feel as much to go out there and watch them.
Things obviously go around in cycles, and I mean, you see it in every division really. Some clubs come to the fore, a lot of them hover around, and some go down and then come back many years later. I'm sure that in the future Quins will be a force in Super League. They will have a run in the playoffs. There will be a season where they win a load of games on the trot. I'm sure that time will come. If at that time, that happens, you just think that is a time to then draw on this Aussie market and say, look, we've got a great product, come and see it.
That's definitely when they'd need to get in.
So how they got to wait until then? Is that the crucial thing?
Well, if they get people in young, a lot of people that love sport and follow sport right through their lives, they've started at a young age supporting a team and have followed it right through. They probably need to tap into the younger market, get people interested from a young age so that they can get their friends or, when they do start to have a family, get them involved as well. Because it just seems that they do lack a bit of local support. Because a lot of the guys from the team, we've all been to games at the Quins. Not necessarily a lot, but we've all been to 1 or 2 games.
Yeah. And you enjoy a game of rugby, I guess, as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
That's
definitely, yeah.
In terms of playing the game then, Wayde, you wanted, or you were looking to go and play sort of championship level or whatever, but you're not able to do that visa-wise, is that right?
Well, we was looking to go up north, but with the visa situation for pretty well most Australians that come over now, it's a youth mobility scheme visa. You're allowed to come over for 2 years to work and holiday, but you're not allowed to get paid to play sport. We're an amateur club, which is why we can draw on so many Australians to come and play, whereas the higher level teams fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what side of the fence you're on, don't have that opportunity.
And I guess this is maybe the thing, sort of 18 months ago, Paul, why London Scholars all of a sudden were left at a crossroads as to sort of where they could select their talent from.
Yeah, because the visa system changed and it made it a lot more difficult for them to attract Australian or New Zealand players of sort of semi-pro level, because they didn't meet the criteria of, I guess, playing X amount of professional games in the NRL or the state leagues to qualify. So
we'll talk a lot more about your club and your season and stuff when we do our little sort of community section later on. But you're only a very relatively new club. It's only your second season. You sort of jumped 2 divisions as well, having performed really well in the London League. Are you happy with sort of where the club sits now? Because you do seem to be, you're competitive in the league, but I guess there's no real interest to go a league higher, because then you're travelling further. It's you're at the level now where the club probably wants to stay, I guess.
Yeah, we're at the level that the club's happy with, and the clientele that we're after for our club suits us, playing on a Saturday afternoon and then enjoying a few beverages afterwards. And as soon as you go up another division, it just means more commitment, which means more training. And we've got a lot of guys who are tradesmen or personal trainers, so they just make training once a week. To then ask them to try and make 3 times a week in order to be competitive, it's just a little bit too much for our club and what we're after.
So what's your turnover like as well? Because I guess, people come along, they're here for a summer, they're here for a year, they play a few games, they sign up, and then all of a sudden they're gone again. Do you find that happening?
Yeah, definitely. So far this season, and we've still got 3 competition games to go in first grade, we've so far used 67 players.
Wow.
And that's spread from across 16 countries as well, so we're drawing on not just the Australian and New Zealand talent, but we're also looking abroad. So
what's going on? Names of nationalities you've got? I think I've read a few out so far this year on the
we've
programme.
Got Portuguese, obviously English, Scottish, Zimbabwean, USA, Germany, French, Greek, Maltese. So there's a fair few in there, which is good for the club. Diversifies us. So.
Fantastic. Well, more about the Hammersmith Hills Hoists, who are with us in the studio this evening. We've got their head coach in Paul Farah and half-back Wayde Kelly. If you have a question for them, you want to talk anything at London Rugby League,